we're being bombarded, 100% bombarded. There are so many companies out there, so many individuals out there that are promising that they're going to build something for you that's going to be rather remarkable. It's it's remarkable. So, as part of my mission in life, I have worked in real estate. I work with real estate agents. I work with businesses, big, small, all the way in between. And it all comes down to one common thing. I don't think they're being sold the right bill of goods. In fact, the bill of goods I think are being sold to them are something of we're still a little far from it. You know, talking about how agents work, AI works, how it's going to be perfect and wonderful. And in some cases, maybe, depending on what things are being automated, it might be. But I'm Connor MacIver with Honor AI Labs. Let's talk about how I do my onboarding process because ultimately people don't do it this way. So let's cover this. So, as far as in a local business, whether you're an agent, a lender, a roofer, an electrician, a nail salon, a personal coach, whatever it may be, you miss phone calls when the staff is away or you're not able to answer your phone because you're with clients. Now, most of those people that call, they're probably going to go to the next person, unless they know you personally, and or maybe have been referred. They might tolerate a little bit of absence happening, but for the most part, they're going to be calling somebody else. Same thing in the real estate world. You miss that phone call, they're going to be calling somebody else. So, one of the first parts of the process is figuring out where you are, what systems do you have in place to handle missed calls. Very, very simple. Now, moving over to AI, of course, people say, well, you know, you can have something respond for you. But that thing that's responding, that thing that's representing you and your company or your business or your service, it can't just be thrown out there arbitrarily and say good luck. It needs to have guidelines installed. That's a human element that has to be put into it. That's also part of the discussion that needs to take place. How are we going to put it together? What is it going to answer? What is it not going to answer? If you happen to be in some kind of an environment where you're unable to give particular pieces of information, I'll give an example like a lender talking about specific interest rates, because interest rates are very dynamic. They're very person dependent, credit history dependent. Just to say that this is the rate today, yeah, it could get you into some trouble. So we have to look at that. But with AI, there's lots of different things that can be done. In addition, websites, CRMs, you have one, they should be easily moved over or able to connect to any AI system that's put into place. There, at this point, big caveat, but at this point, AI is not here to replace anything. Right now, it's at the point where we can use it as a very effective tool to help us in our business. Whether you're in one of the businesses I mentioned before, that's something that I do here with Honor AI Labs. We talk about exactly how we can automate as much as possible, doing it in a seamless, 100% accurate way, so you can do what you do best, which is, as I talk to some health professionals and coaches and real estate agents and other people in various spaces, what they do best is their craft, is their job, and that's what you should be doing with all the time that you want to invest in it. You shouldn't be worried about it. Now, with regard to people coming to me, there's no guessing. You know, a lot of people structure a business that's somewhat similar. They go and they look for people. I have people reaching out to me wanting this. So when they come to me, we have certain things to discuss. Now, a lot of times it starts with a good old-fashioned phone call. And maybe they'll leave a voicemail for me, maybe we'll talk, but most of the time I pick up my cell phone. There might be a time in the future that I don't, but right now I do. And I like that because I try to pick up. Even if I'm busy, I try to say, you know, I'll call you back in a few minutes, let me get your number. And I try to do that because you probably have needs. So we try to help. But in regard to that, when they do call, I have to look at everything. I have to schedule a Zoom call with you. That's step 2. And on the Zoom call, we're going to talk about where you are currently. What are your systems that you have in place? You might not have any systems. You might be a brand new mobile detailing business or thinking about starting one up. That's like the best time to set all this stuff up because then we get to explore where your potential leads coming in from would be. Talk about social media campaigns, different campaigns to take care of client retention, client nurturing over time. Also to solicit clients to have other people come use your services. Reviews management is a big deal, getting all those 5-star reviews. People are using all these different AI overlays to be able to do these things, and we have to look at all of them. So once we do, then we come down with a determination as to what's going to be best for your business. And I know you watch people talk and they speak about AI and websites and funnel pages and landing pages. That's all great. All of these things should be branded to you. And when we brand them, they also have to have different behind the scenes organization, embedded code that also notifies the AI engine that these are very valuable websites. So we're talking about some kind of schema being put in there. It's stuff within the code, not bad stuff, but good stuff that's going to verify with the AI system. This is what this site's about. This is a local roofer in Santa Clarita Valley. This is his name. This is his license number. This is where he does business, and so on. It goes down to a very detailed level. So when it's comparing your company with another company, you're going to win that game 100% of the time because of the way just a very simple funnel page is designed. Having somebody just make one for you, it misses a lot of those necessary architectures to keep you at the top of the most relevant searches out there. Before, if you remember, we're at February of 2026, about to jump into March. You remember before it was Google, it was Bing. You were doing these searches, AOL, Yahoo search, remember? But those have changed where people are using ChatGPT, Grok, these other systems to do their searching. So when we put together anything for a client, it has to be with that understanding in mind. The architecture has to be under the scenes. So what's going to end up happening is when they do a search for a business of yours, every single funnel, every single website, every single app, whatever we put together is going to be all about your business. In addition to that, it's going to be branded in a very similar way, and it's going to ascribe to a particular construction style that's going to allow it to be ranking in the top of the old-fashioned type ask Google the question search. But most importantly now, and especially as we move into March and April and May, because it's moving quick, we want that to also score your name, your website, your business at the top of the AI engines, the large language models, the LLMs, ChatGPT, Grok, Microsoft Copilot, Claude, these different systems, DeepSeek. We want those to be at the top part of those. So when people are asking about your business, as they start to talk to these entities, if you will, these artificial intelligence systems, they will then give those results. So that's super important. And ultimately, I know you've heard a lot. Part of our discussion is going to be what you've heard about AI and what you expect, because also trying to settle down any expectations and making sure it's 100% accurate as far as today's technology, and then guaranteeing to you that if something changes tomorrow and it works and it's good for your business, then we will upgrade you and onboard you to whatever that new thing is, but always having my eyeballs on the process of everything that's going to be AI integration, AI growth architecture within your business. All right. So keywords, we talked a little bit about the social media engagement, at least with regard to having placement on there with content. Some of the things that can be done as well, there's AI systems that can start to answer your social media, interact with people. And then these AI systems could do some kind of a keyword engagement where, we do a video or some kind of content for you. Or you do it because we give you the script. It depends on what kind of level of membership you want. But you could have a video say, respond with a DM deal, the word deal, or the word price, or the word value, or whatever it is. We can have an entire automated campaign that goes out because the system, the AI system that I put in place, identified the word that was responded to, and then the system itself is going to go through a particular workflow with triggers and actions. It's going to take this person that responded to this on a Facebook group at 2 o'clock in the morning to you via a DM. All of a sudden, it pulls them in and it gets all their information. When you wake up in the morning, you have a completely brand new client that is looking for further information. And then of course, it's up to you, being the salesperson, to close them. But then it doesn't stop there. Then the next part of that is it's going to take care of this person. It's going to put them into the pipeline. You'll move them through the opportunities channel from new lead all the way through whatever we happen to set up your particular blocks to be. Then at the very end, once they're closed, then it's not done. The retention of clients' information and further nurturing of them is huge for your business. So you want to take care of them, and you want to send them things of value. You don't want to send them nonsense. You don't want to send them stuff that's going to basically hammer them into submission. Say, my God, would this Connor guy just stop with that whole thing? You want to say, you know what, Connor sent me something last week. I got to send it to you. So you got to see this, and so on and so forth. Whether it's real estate, home value, whether it's some change in the mortgage world, some change in the refinance world, robots taking over the world. I mean, something, whatever your business happens to be. All right. So once these nurturing things happen, it goes right away. It's going to take care of these clients. Now, of course, 24/7 voice and booking. We have to find out exactly what's happening with your business. What do you have in place as far as a phone number? Can that phone number be forwarded to something else after hours when your staff goes home, when they're at lunch? I have AI systems using 11 Labs automations. They're able to handle 20 people simultaneously. 21 people simultaneously that are calling in. I mean, that's remarkable. I have AI overlays, AI agents on websites, on funnels, on apps that will also do the same thing. They will talk to your clients, they will interact with them, and they will get their information, so that turns them into a lead and it goes into the CRM. Whether you have your own and you don't want to abandon it, that's fine. We can use some kind of different protocol, whether it's an MCP or whether it's a Zapier connection or whatever. We can have that integrated so it actually works with what you're used to, what your employees and your staff are used to. And if you're not used to anything and you haven't done this part of your business yet, then we'll set you up with a system that I have. Same thing, but it works. Calendars as well. If you have various systems out there, more than likely if you have Calendly or some of these other ones, depends on how much you love them, how much you have set up. I've run into people that have literally 50 or 60 different calendars doing all sorts of different things. That's quite a lot to move. In some cases, they don't mind me taking on that job of moving everything over, but my God, and then trying to replace everything with those particular embed codes for those calendars that they pull off Calendly and come into my system. Me building a whole bunch of calendars for you isn't a problem, but just understand when you're coming in, it depends on how deep your company happens to be with their current exposure, because we don't want to break anything. We want everything to move over nice and gingerly into a system that's going to be able to use AI architectures and overlays so you can do what you do best. And that's just whatever world position you have in the world. Now, as far as the marketing engine goes, it's important whenever, like I said earlier, we're putting together these funnels, we want to make sure that these particular funnels are enhanced and we have all the different architectures in there, the AEO, Answer Engine Optimization, and the GEO, the Geographical Engine Optimization. That's going to tie in with your particular locations online with your Google Business Places, and also Bing My Business as well. You need to have your businesses on there. That's free advice for this particular podcast. If you don't have your business listed on these websites, those particular two in particular, Bing is feeding into OpenAI's ChatGPT, and Gemini's feeding into the Google engine, and also Gemini, which is fantastic, another large language model, really fantastic. But that's what's feeding into it. If your business isn't there, well, you're missing business. Also, the more those pages are updated with the various strategies, Q&A, conversational, that's what AI likes, so we give AI what it wants. Now, automated campaigns, of course, SMS, text, and email, that all comes through because you have to keep engaging with your clients. All of that works through the system that we can set up. And of course, your contact, so we talk. You have a 3,000 person contact list. Usually the conversation goes, well, it's just all the contacts. Well, which ones bought and which ones bought the Crown Victorias, and which one, do they make that anymore? And which ones bought the Range Rover, and well, I don't know. It's all the contacts. All right. So then we tag that. That's the list. That's the master list. But anything that we procure after that, it goes into actual tags. What is this person looking for? Are they looking to refinance a mortgage? Are they looking to get their car washed? Are they looking to get a pedicure? I mean, lots of different businesses, but you see the point. And then, did they book a pedicure? Did they have a pedicure? Then we want to talk to them about reviewing the pedicure. We don't want to let that go. Only though if they're going to review in a nice, friendly light, and if not, we'll try to do some damage control and see if we can get them back into that nice, friendly light. Right. So looking at all of this is important from a business perspective. And again, you're moving an entire business structure from SEO, search engine optimization, which it's still very relevant today, having the backlinks and other information about your business. But now it's changed where people aren't just doing that search saying, where's I need a real estate agent or whatever. It's the system itself is going to go through a lot of information. Instead of giving, the first 15, it's probably going to come down to one. You want to be in that one place. You want to be in that spot, and having all of these things attached is the way that you do that. So nothing is left behind. And if you think you're competing with a lot of people that are doing it at this level, you're not yet. Maybe 6 months, a year from now, but now's the time to really push forward in this so you can capture as much as possible till the market becomes saturated. And then at that time, there'll be something new I'll be able to offer, because technology changes every single moment of every single day, and I'll be able to vet it, look at it, and offer it to you. All right, so now we move on. Backpack prominence, as far as Google My Business, you see the 6 snapshot or the 3 or the 4, whatever it happens to render on the machine you're using or the computer you're using about the local businesses. That's important. The large language models we need to structure your data so Google, Gemini, Microsoft all see and recognize you as your authority. We also tie the GEO strategies all across. We talked about that as well. And then, of course, tailor to your market. Whatever your professional service happens to be, we figure that we need to develop the architecture that's going to attend to all of those different people. And we have both professional services, home and local services, and how it works. Transformation process, initial call, then you have the data gathering. So once they call in or communicate with a chat bot, then that particular system is going to go out there and attach itself to them and then carry them through whatever workflow pipeline we're going to put together for your business. Now, how I do it, my transformation process, you call me or you book a time with me, and then I tell you what I need to get from you. And then we come back and we have a Zoom meeting and we go through the system. And in some cases, it might be a retainer, due at that time, a fully refundable retainer, or not. It just depends on how deep of an investigation I have to do. And then finally, after we make a decision as to where your business wants to be, whether it's any of them, then we make decision, we discuss price, we negotiate, and then we move into the build out of the system, the testing, the initial steps, the testing, the build out, and then of course more testing, and then finally deployment, and then we do some testing, then we're done. All right, and we keep it updated. So like I mentioned earlier, if things continue to evolve, which they will every single day, then we talk about those next steps. All right, I hope this has been helpful. Here's some of the attributions for images. Just thought I'd throw that out there because I use somebody else's, and it's always proper in any kind of thing to definitely give them a couple minutes there just to show. But all right, when you're ready, please reach out to me. You can find me online anywhere, Connor with Honor, and of course, phone number 661-400-172 and then 0, AIHonorLabs.com. And I appreciate you watching. We will see you in the next one. Be well.